I want to tell you a story about a girl who was told she was worthless, a girl who was born into poverty so deep that she wore dresses made from potato sacks, a girl who was laughed at, overlooked, and told by the world that she would never amount to anything. And today, she is one of the most powerful, most respected, and most influential human beings on the planet. Her name is Oprah Winfrey, and her story will change how you think about your past, your struggles, and the incredible power that lives inside you right now.
Chapter 1. Mississippi Dirt Roads. Oprah Gail Winfrey was born on January 29, 1954, in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, a tiny rural town with dirt roads and no running water in most houses. Her family had almost nothing. Her mother was a teenager who could not take care of her, so Oprah was sent to live with her grandmother on a small farm. They were so poor that her grandmother made her dresses out of potato sacks. The other children at school laughed at her. They pointed at her clothes and called her names. But her grandmother did something that would change Oprah's life forever. She taught her to read. At the age of 3, Oprah could already read. By the time she was 5, she was reading to the entire congregation at her local church. People in the audience whispered, "That girl is gifted." And this is the first lesson. Sometimes the most powerful gift you will ever receive comes from the most unlikely place. Oprah's grandmother had no money. She had no education. She had nothing the world considers valuable. But she gave Oprah the one thing that mattered more than all of it. She gave her words. She gave her language. She gave her a voice. You do not need expensive tools to build an extraordinary life. Sometimes all you need is one person who believes in you enough to hand you the first key.
Chapter 2. The Father Who Changed Everything. Oprah's early childhood was not easy. She moved between family members, struggled to find stability, and often felt like she did not truly belong anywhere. But everything changed when she went to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey, in Nashville, Tennessee. Her father was strict, extremely strict. He required her to read a book every single week and write a report on it. He checked her homework every night. He told her, "If you can read, you can learn. If you can learn, you can do anything." Some people thought he was too hard on her, but Oprah has said many times that her father saved her life. His discipline gave her structure. His expectations gave her something to rise toward. His belief in her gave her a reason to believe in herself. And this is the second lesson. Sometimes the person who is hardest on you is the person who loves you the most. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is someone saying, "I see what you can become, and I refuse to let you settle for less." If someone in your life is pushing you to be better, do not push them away. They might be the one who saves you.
Chapter 3. A Voice That Could Not Be Silenced. In high school, everything began to change. Oprah joined the speech team and discovered that she had a gift that most people spend their entire lives searching for. She could talk to anyone about anything and make them feel understood. At 17, she won a beauty pageant and caught the attention of a local radio station. They offered her a job reading the news. She was still in high school. By 19, she became the youngest person and the first black woman to anchor the news at a television station in Nashville. But here's the thing, her early career was not a smooth ride to the top. When she moved to Baltimore to co-anchor a bigger news program, the station tried to change everything about her. They told her to change her hair. They told her to change the way she spoke. They told her she was too emotional for hard news. One producer actually said, "You are not right for television." They demoted her. They moved her from the prime anchor desk to a low-rated daytime talk show that nobody watched. They thought they were punishing her. They were actually giving her the greatest gift of her career. And this is the third lesson. What looks like a demotion might actually be a redirection. What feels like a failure might actually be the universe pushing you toward where you truly belong. Not every closed door is a rejection. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is preparation. The job you lost might be clearing the path for the career you were born for.
Chapter 4. Chicago Changed Everything. In 1984, Oprah moved to Chicago to host a low-rated morning talk show called AM Chicago. The show was dead last in the ratings. Nobody expected it to survive, and certainly nobody expected the new host to make a difference. Within 1 month, the ratings began to rise. Within 3 months, the show was #1 in Chicago. Within a year, it was beating every other talk show in the country, including the show hosted by Phil Donahue, who had been the king of daytime television for over a decade. What did Oprah do differently? She did not try to be perfect. She did not try to be polished. She was real. She was honest. She was vulnerable. She talked about her own struggles, her childhood, her journey. She cried on camera. She laughed on camera. She made her guests feel safe enough to share their deepest truths. Nobody had ever seen anything like it on television. The show was renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show, and for the next 25 years, it would become the highest-rated talk show in American television history. Over 40,000 episodes, viewed by tens of millions of people in 149 countries. The lesson here is one of the most important things you will ever learn. You do not become powerful by pretending to be someone you are not. You become powerful by being exactly who you are. Your struggles, your imperfections, your real story, those are not weaknesses. Those are the things that connect you to other people. Those are the things that make you real. The world does not need another perfect person. The world needs someone brave enough to be honest.
Chapter 5. Building an Empire. Oprah did not just host a television show. She built an empire. In 1986, she founded Harpo Productions, becoming one of the first women in America to own and produce her own show. The name Harpo is Oprah spelled backwards. She wanted to own everything she created. She refused to let someone else control her voice. She launched O, the Oprah magazine. She co-founded the television network OWN. She started a book club that turned unknown authors into bestsellers overnight. If Oprah recommended a book, it would sell 1 million copies within weeks. Publishers called it the Oprah effect. One recommendation from her was worth more than any advertising campaign in the world. She became the first black female billionaire in history, not through inheritance, not through luck, through work, vision, and an absolute refusal to let anyone else define her limits. But here's what makes Oprah different from many other successful people. She never forgot where she came from. She never let wealth make her cold. She used her platform to lift others. She built a school for girls in South Africa. She has donated over $500 million to education and charitable causes. She once gave every single person in her studio audience a brand new car. Not for publicity, because she genuinely loves seeing other people experience joy. The fifth lesson is this: true success is not measured by what you accumulate, it is measured by what you give. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who take the most, they are the ones who give the most, because giving is not a loss, giving is an investment in the kind of world you want to live in.
Chapter 6. Success did not make it easy. But do not think for a moment that Oprah's life became easy just because she became successful. Success does not remove struggle. It changes the shape of it. Even at the height of her fame, Oprah faced constant criticism. Tabloids attacked her appearance. Competitors tried to take her audience. Critics said she was too emotional, too personal, too much. Every year, someone predicted that her show would finally lose its audience. But Oprah never changed who she was to satisfy her critics. She never became cold or corporate or fake. She stayed real. She stayed honest. And every time someone counted her out, she came back stronger. She once said, "I do not believe in failure. It is not failure if you enjoyed the process." And that is the sixth lesson. Success does not protect you from criticism. In fact, the more successful you become, the louder the critics get. But their words only have power if you give them power. Stay focused on your mission. Stay true to who you are. Let the results speak louder than the noise. And when you fall, do not stay down. Get up. Try again, as many times as it takes. Progress is not a straight line. It is a series of falls and recoveries. And the only people who fail are the ones who stop getting up.
Chapter 7. What Oprah Taught the World. Oprah did not just entertain people, she changed culture. She made it acceptable for men and women to talk about their feelings on television. Before Oprah, emotional honesty was considered a weakness, especially in media. She proved that vulnerability is one of the most powerful forces on earth. She brought conversations about self-worth, personal growth, and emotional honesty into living rooms where those topics had never been discussed before. Millions of people heard their own stories reflected in her show for the first time and realized they were not alone. She popularized the concept of living your best life, not as a marketing slogan, but as a genuine philosophy. The idea that every human being, regardless of background, race, or economic status, deserves to live a life of meaning and purpose. She once said, "The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams." And she meant it because she had done it. She had taken the life that was handed to her, a life of poverty, rejection, and countless obstacles, and she had transformed it into something extraordinary. The seventh lesson is this: your story matters. Your struggles have a purpose. The things you have been through are not just obstacles, they are credentials. They qualify you to help someone else who is going through the same thing right now. Your mess can become your message, but only if you have the courage to share it. Chapter 8. Why this story matters to you. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, that is an incredible story, but I am not Oprah. I do not have her talent. I do not have her opportunities. What does her story have to do with me? Everything. Oprah did not start with talent. She started with struggle. She did not start with opportunities. She started with obstacles. Everything she has, she built from nothing, less than nothing. If a girl from rural Mississippi who wore potato sack dresses can become one of the most influential people in human history, then what excuse do any of us have? You might not become a billionaire, you might not host a television show, but that is not the point. The point is this: you have more power inside you than you know. The life you want is on the other side of the fear you are refusing to face. What is your potato sack dress? What is the thing in your past that you think disqualifies you from greatness? Your poverty? Your background? Your failure? Your lack of education? Oprah had all of those things, every single one, and she turned them into fuel. She did not succeed despite her past. She succeeded because of it, because every struggle gave her empathy. Every failure gave her wisdom. Every moment of pain gave her the ability to connect with millions of people who were carrying the same weight. Your past is not your weakness, it is your superpower, but only if you refuse to let it define you.
Chapter 9. A light that refuses to go out. Before we finish, I want to leave you with something that I hope you will carry with you long after this video ends. Oprah Winfrey is 72 years old, and she is still working, still creating, still giving, still inspiring. She did not stop when she became rich. She did not stop when she became famous. She did not stop when the world told her she had done enough. Because for Oprah, it was never about the money. It was never about the fame. It was about the little girl in Mississippi who wore potato sack dresses and was told she would never be anything. Every single day, Oprah proves that little girl wrong. And every single day, you have the same opportunity to prove wrong every voice that ever told you that you were not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. You are enough, right now, exactly as you are, with all your flaws, with all your struggles, with all your unfinished chapters. Oprah once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom," and that is exactly what she did. Not just once, every single day for decades. So right now, I want you to make yourself a promise, not to me, to yourself. Promise yourself that you will stop waiting for permission to become who you are meant to be. Promise yourself that you will stop letting your past decide your future. Promise yourself that no matter how many times you fall, you will get back up. Because the world needs your light. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, now. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not too damaged. You are just getting started. Remember, your story is not over. The best chapters have not been written yet. I will see you in the next video.